the invited talk titled as Insight Indepth, conducted by Mar Theophilus Training College, Research Wing, Ignacia. Everyone is welcome to the Treasureful Monday Invited Talk. I am Saumya DE, Research Scholar, Mar Theophilus Training College. Honorable Chief Guest, respected Principal K.Y. Benedict Sir, Research Coordinator Dr. Bindu B. Teacher, teachers, scholars, and students. You know, it is the wisdom that enables people to withstand before to all troubles. Here today we are all gathered virtually to enrich ourselves, thereby contribute productive impact on the society. So let us begin today's meeting. It's a mark of our tradition to evoke the Almighty at the beginning of an important event. Let us start with a prayer. Next, I may have the privilege to call Vincy Bijuma to welcome each of the dignitaries. Vincy ma'am.
Am I audible, Soumya?
Yes, audible.
Thank you, Soumya. A very warm good evening to one and all. I, Vincy Biju, on behalf of the research wing of Mar Theophilus Training College, welcome you all to the 56th talk series of Insight In-Depth program. It gives me tremendous contentment to present a welcome speech amongst the most esteemed personalities who have won accolades in their respective fields. At the outset, I would like to welcome Dr. Vanidevi PT, who is a psychologist, And today she is going to present her thoughts on the topic challenges faced by children and change in study habits. Topic for today is highly significant. I'm sure many of us being teachers and parents are facing this particular issue. This is really going to be a beneficial session for many of us. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, ma'am. It's my privilege to welcome our principal, Dr. K.Y. Bandik, sir, who is also a recipient of many awards like Young Scientist Award of Kerala, Best Teacher Educators, and his achievements are always a source of inspiration to all of us. His strong determination, leadership, and workaholic nature builds a high morale amongst us to exhibit our best. We are very fortunate to have you as our principal. We are thankful for your presence and I offer a hearty welcome to you, sir. It's my great pleasure to welcome our research coordinator, Dr. Bindu ma'am, who's one of the prominent faculty of our prestigious institute. We appreciate your guidance and motivation for the smooth conduct of Insight In-Depth Talk series. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vinci.
Welcome, ma'am. Now, I welcome our respected dignitaries for accepting our invitation and be part of this program. Without your kind presence, we could not have accomplished what we had planned for. Last but not least, I welcome all the faculty members, students, and research scholars of Martha Phyllis Training College, without whom this event would not be a successful one. Once again, I welcome you all to this webinar. I ensure this webinar will be informative and fruitful for everyone present here. Thank you so much.
Good evening, dear friends. Good evening, dear
Good evening,
friends, delegates. Today, our topic for presentation is issues or challenges faced by children and also their change in study habits. So, as we know, interdependence is greater value than independent. So that is the value that we have practiced in our schools so far. But the COVID situation has changed the system altogether. What we are practicing is to be independent. So, and it is causing so many challenges to our younger generation too. So, on behalf of all gathered here, I welcome you, ma'am. Today's resource person is Ms. Vanidevi, a very dynamic resource person and also an expert in life skill training and also an academic trainer. So on behalf of all gathered here and also on behalf of research wing, Martha Phyllis Training College, I welcome you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. So shall I start with the presentation?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me such an opportunity. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So all the people who have gathered here as either teachers or parents who have been seeing children pre-COVID and post-COVID, right?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
There is a section, introduce the guest. Let her do her job, ma'am, please.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Priya, please.
Yes, yes. Sorry for the disturbance, ma'am. Good evening. Good evening, all. I'm Priya, research scholar on behalf of Martha Plus Training College, Research Wing. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all honorable dignitaries, teachers, and dear participants. It's my intense pleasure to welcome you all for today's Insight In-Depth Invited Talk. The world's greatest achievers have been those who have focused on their goals and have been consistent in their efforts. Helping one person might not change the whole world, but it could change the world for one person. Yes, it's our distinct honor and high privilege to introduce our guest, speaker of today's Insight Invited Talk. We are indeed delighted to have a noted psychologist and a proficient counselor, Mrs. Vanidevi, who have more than 14 years of experience in dealing with children and their behavior and academic issues. She's excellent in dealing with the intricate behavioral patterns of children and assessment of their learning potentials. She conducts training programs on positive parenting, life skill development, and also proficient study skill trainer. As a counselor, her views always admires a non-judgmental perspective and has helped several couples in managing their relationship issues. She is good at family, marital, and premarital counseling. She is currently spearheading the Enlight Center for Holistic Development at Kaudiar, with keen objectives heading psychological support to the needy and focusing on the holistic development of the individual. Ma'am, we are indeed privileged to have you as our chief guest and speaker of today's Insight Invited Talk. So once again, a hearty welcome to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya.
Thank you, Sanila.
As Soumya have some network issue, let me continue. Before we start, a humble reminder to our dear participants, please mute your audio unless you are asked to unmute to avoid any distraction. If you have any queries related to the meeting, please type them in the chat box. After the talk by our resource person, there will be a deliberation time. At that time, you can clarify your queries. This webinar is being recorded and will be uploaded in the MTTC Nalanchira official YouTube channel, and the link will be shared through our Insight Indepth WhatsApp groups. Feedback form will be shared only at the end of the meeting. Only those who submit the feedback form will receive the e-certificate through the email ID which you enter in the feedback form. I humbly request everyone to kindly follow the instructions for the smooth conduct of the meeting. Kindly cooperate. Thank you. We are fortunate to have such a great personality as a resource person who will definitely enlighten our knowledge. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. The platform is yours, ma'am. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. So, as I asked you in the first session, that most of us are parents or student teachers or teachers who have gathered here. And we have seen children pre-COVID and post-COVID. So, as teachers or as parents, what is your findings? That what is the change? Is there any change? First of all, is there any change which you have noticed in your children before the COVID and after COVID? Can someone of you answer about it? It will be good if someone can unmute and answer.
Madam, could you please repeat the question once again?
So we have seen children before the COVID outbreak and after the COVID outbreak, or now we are seeing children in schools or colleges, and we are dealing with the academics of children, behavior of children. So have you ever noticed any change in children as such? Our topic is like challenges and the change in children, study habits. So have you ever noticed such a change?
One particular observation that I have noticed from my point of view is regarding their attitude towards the attitude towards the process of learning, a kind of system imposed laziness, because the system will look after whether I have, whether or not I will work, or whatever may be the situation. There will be a kind of easygoing attitude. Even the note taking habits, many things have changed.
Yes, we have seen a lot of change in children, whether it's younger children or elder children, whether they are in their professional course or in primary class, whatever it is, we have seen a lot of change in the children's, mainly of attitude towards life, attitude towards their academics, attitude towards the time they are dealing with. So we have seen a lot of change in their behavior, in their attitude, in the way in which they attempt to learn. Or earlier it was all guided, right? When we whatever changes which comes to our life actually will change the attitude towards it. Why we go to a school or why we go to a college at a particular time, we follow the rule. Why is it so? It is because someone is monitoring us, someone is seeing us, watching us, what we are doing, and we see a lot of other people also doing the same thing. So we have a thing in our mind, what others will think. That is one thing which actually motivate each and every human being to be in line with the rules or in discipline. So it is ultimately the external factors which motivate a person rather than internal factors. There are people who are motivated because of the internal factors, but even then we say that external factors affect a lot for keeping the motivation high. So what do we expect from a child, or what is the role of education in a child, or what is the role of school in a child? That has actually been changed before COVID and after COVID. That is my viewpoint. Any objection for this viewpoint?
No, ma'am, you are absolutely correct.
Yes, because previously, when a child goes to school, we see that they get socialized, they get involved into so many other activities other than the academics, and it has been given a lot of importance also for the co-curricular activities. Maybe structured co-curricular activities or unstructured co-curricular activities, but we always had, children always got an opportunity to get involved in the activities which is being conducted in the school, either as an active participant or as an audience. So they always come across with so many opportunities in social life. So when this change happened or shift happened because of this COVID, what is the first thing which we have seen is we tried to continue our education system without disruption. We have tried our maximum to give a proper education to children. Sorry, is the screen visible now?
Yes, yes, it is visible, ma'am.
Okay, so why this online education has been opted is to get along with the COVID situation, or to cope up with the current situation, to have an undisrupted academic session, and it was all due to the COVID. And in the beginning, we could actually justify what we were doing, but now actually whether we are using the whole thing like online education, are we really using the technology behind this online education, or we are just communicating through a camera? So that is the difference. Now what we are doing is majorly what we are doing is we are trying to communicate with the children through a medium of internet, through this Google Meet or whatever platforms which we can use. But incorporating the technology into education has not been used till now. So that is one of the major drawbacks why children are not being able to attend to the sessions or attend to the classes. And another thing which we can see is there is no monitoring. Yes, of course, we can say that we can monitor the children through online, but even now we have got 9,900 participants here, now 100 plus participants here in this session, but we are not sure how many of you are actually listening to the meeting, or how many of you have just logged in and gone out. we cannot monitor that. There are systems which we can use to monitor these things, whether the person is attending completely, are they sitting at the same place, or are they switching off the camera and moving away, are they really attending to the class. We have the technology to monitor all these things, but in the current scenario it has not been used, or in the current scenario we don't have that infrastructure to incorporate these things into our education system. So we generally see a decreased socialization among children, and it is difficult to monitor children how they are attending the classes. And because of this online education itself, we see please give us an example how technology has not integrated into education. I feel use of technology has gone up. Okay, for example, well, like what I said, we cannot actually monitor how the children is attending the class through just Google Meet. If you are using the platform like Google Meet or Zoom calls, etc., we cannot actually monitor, or we cannot see whether the children are attending to the class or not. And even when I am talking to you, I am not actually incorporating any technologies into it. Even this PowerPoint is not actually, we cannot say that we are integrating technology into the class. It is there to a certain extent. We are integrating technology, but utilizing the technical know-how or technical side to the maximum is not happening. For example, in a chemistry class, we use our text, or we make videos, or we make PowerPoint presentations to explain what is there in the text, or what is there in the content. But when we try to communicate to the children, we can actually incorporate a lot of graphics. There are several other things which can be included into the that is like the teaching methods or the teaching materials you use. Like we use in a class, we use chart papers or charts, or globe, or some materials to make the children understand what we exactly want to communicate. But when we use technology like internet, or trying to communicate through online platform, actually we can integrate more of it into this. It is just because we are not trained. Even when I say that it is not the way to do the online education, I'm not trained to use the technology into education. So we are not trained to incorporate technology into education and to communicate that to children. So if that can also be incorporated into the teaching practice or into the teaching syllabus of the training teachers, that will be useful for the next generation. So because after this time, even after COVID, we may have to continue with this integrated classes, like hybrid classes, like some children in the school and some in the online platform. So we may have to continue this. So if we can incorporate these things also into this, that will be more effective rather than just lecturing through the online platforms. And one of the major changes which I have seen through my clinical experience is that children has lost their responsibility sense. It is mainly because nobody is going to monitor them. They don't have to go to the school. They don't have to complete their work. Even when the work is not complete, they are not going to get any punishment, or they are not going to be monitored. Max to max, what is going to happen is they just get a phone call from the teacher. So the reinforcement pattern for not doing a work or doing a work has to be remodified. How it has to be remodified has to be thought about. Because when a child completes a note and submits it to the teacher for correction, what we do is we correct the note. We say that, okay, these many children have submitted their notes, or we give them a star, or we say that these people has not submitted. When that is said in public, when they are in the classroom, that actually triggers a lot of children. But now they don't have to face anyone. Even in the online platform, in this class, if I'm telling that this person has not done the homework, or this person has not completed their notes, when their camera is off, they are pretty sure that they are not being seen by other people. So that itself demotivates, or that itself make the children feel that even if I don't submit, nothing is going to happen. That is one of the major reasons why children has stopped writing their notes or doing their homeworks and projects at the right time. Monitoring, of course, will motivate the children. And the other issues which we have seen for the last 2 years is, one is excessive screen time, which leads to social issues, which leads to physical issues, which leads to behavioral issues, emotional issues, and even relationship issues among family members and between the children. And they tend to use social media and other things more, and they get indulged into other relationships where they are not able to identify which is true relationship and which is not. So these things are actually, we are seeing it as a great trouble among children, because when we use social media and when we use the electronic gadgets like laptop or internet facilities, when we connect with internet, we need to train children how to use it responsibly. When we say that how to use it responsibly, parents and teachers also have a great point of work to be done, that we need to model them how we are using our gadgets. So that should be taught to children before we hand over these gadgets to the children. That has not been happened when we handed over the gadgets to children. And when they got the things which were restricted for them till 1 year back or 2 years back, now they are completely into it, and most of the children have free access to all the internet sites and all the facilities with the internet. So what we have to do is, we need to make sure that children are using it responsibly. There should be gadget free time. Why this gadget free time has to be there? It is because we cannot actually take away gadgets from children. It is part of their life. We cannot avoid a situation where gadgets are not being given to children. It has to be there. But we need to teach them how to use it responsibly. There should be gadget free time. There should be time for the family. There should be time for physical exercises for children. And these things has to be incorporated into the daily life pattern of children, which has been completely evaded after this COVID. Because children used to play in schools, they used to run, they used to get engaged in play activities or physical activities when they were in school. But when they are in home, then when they are introduced to internet, they tend to spend most of their time in front of screen. So because of these things, they tend to get addicted to the gadget. And what happens is, they are not being monitored, they are not being reinforced, the reinforcement pattern is not that effective. So ultimately, they are not interested in continuing their education, or they are not interested in the academic things which they have been exposed, or they are away from their responsibilities. Because of this, they have poor study skill patterns, or they have poor study habit patterns. So from socialization, or when the children are being exposed to social situations in schools and colleges, they learn social skills, they learn how to solve a problem, they learn life skills, they get social support system, and they learn, or they get a chance how to channelize their emotions. So the socialization, getting involved into people, have got a great impact on any people's life, whether it's children or adult. So we cannot actually think about a situation where socialization is completely not integrated into a person's life. Socialization has got its own importance. So when a child is being socialized, they learn all the skills like social skills, problem solving skills, life skills, how to face a situation, how to channelize their emotions, how to evaluate a relationship, how to continue a relationship, how to select friends. All these things happens during socialization. And about their study habits also, socialization has got a great impact, because when you are into a group where other children are doing, you know what the other children are doing, that actually motivates the children to continue their responsibilities, to continue their academics. They tend to achieve, or they tend to feel that they also have to achieve like other children around. So because of this online education change, or because of the shift in the platform, what I have seen in my clinical experience is that children are less motivated, especially when the children are extrinsically motivated. That is, children are motivated when they get responses from outside. There are few children who are intrinsically motivated, so they actually benefit from this, because they have got only few hours to be spent at school in front of teachers. As they are intrinsically motivated, they tend to read more, they tend to gain more knowledge. So that is a positive side of this. They get free time, a lot of free time. So children who are intrinsically motivated and to inclined towards academics, they definitely will gain with this. But majority of the children, or the average performers, are generally extrinsically motivated, and here it is becoming a hindrance that people are not being monitored and motivated for their responsibilities. So this is all about my presentation. We'll go for an open discussion. Any questions?
Vasaf sir has raised the hand.
Yes. Okay.
Vasaf sir, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Really, I would like to thank Dr. Vanidevi for raising and discussing such an important topic. Madam, in the beginning of the corona pandemic, the parents suffer from face the challenging of online learning for the children. Find difficulty, and now after some time, 2 years of corona pandemic, now children become familiar with online teaching. Now the challenge which the parents face is that children do not like to go back to school. They prefer, whenever you ask the child, tomorrow or next week, there should be, the schools will be open and you have to return back to school. Okay, no, I don't like, I like to sit here. Now, this is another challenge which the parents face, how to retain children to accept going back to school. But I don't know if there is an idea, or there's an imagination for that, or you as psychologists, you can help the parents what to do. Although until now we don't know when the corona pandemic finished. Sometimes you have to go back to school. Other times, no. Until now, it is risky. Do not go. After one semester, now next semester you have to go. This hesitation really is a challenge for the parents. I don't know if there's an idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the comment and question. Actually, this is one of the greatest challenges, to get back the children back to school. But we need to know what exactly is the reason why the children are planning, or the children wants to be at home. The major thing is that when they go back to school, even though there is socialization, they can meet friends, they can get engaged in other activities. If the children are highly motivated or really into the gadgets, and they spend their time into the gadgets and other activities which they tend to enjoy more than the activities which they are going to get from school, definitely children will opt for the activities which they can sit at home and do. Okay, so we need to actually put in effort to attract the children to school by providing them more attractive activities, not just academics. That will be a best way to get the children out of house. And another thing, we need to individually find out what is the real reason that the children doesn't want to go back to school. For example, if a child, imagine that if a child is having learning disabilities. For a child who is having learning disabilities, they definitely will try to be at home, because when they go back to school, it's more of academics where they are not able to perform. But when it is online, they are not being monitored for what they read or what they write. But if they can attend to the class and respond orally to the class, they will also get the attention of teachers and they will also be appreciated. That is what we see here. It may be different in different countries of the world, but what we see here is like this. So we need to identify, depending on each child, we need to identify what is actually pulling the child back.
Ma'am,
Thank you.
fear
Thank
of
you
the
very much.
pandemic may also be one of the reasons for the children to stay back at home. That might be one of my important reasons. For example, I have got 4 babies here, 4 kids here. And they fear the pandemic. They have a fear of the pandemic. That's an important reason. Now, I would like to ask you one thing. Even before the pandemic, the children were addicts of YouTube. They were addicted to Karike, Tati Mutim, Urijiri, Bumper Chiri, such programs. And the pandemic situation, online classes, all these things have aggravated the situation. And how can you control that? That's my question.
Bindu ma'am, can you please mute? I didn't get the last part of your question, sir.
So, ma'am, am I clear?
Yeah.
Voice, is my voice clear now?
Yes.
Now, the children were addicts of YouTube.
Yes.
Even before the pandemic.
Ah.
Okay, because once a gadget is given 3-4 hours, if we are not caring for them, they will be happy with that. And the pandemic situation has aggravated the situation, and they are addicted to YouTube and many things, funny things. Now, can we do something about that?
Definitely. Actually, gadget addiction is something which we need to take it into very serious matter, like we do the de-addiction for substance abuse. It has to be taken into care like that only. It is addiction. If it is clinical addiction, that has to be addressed like we go for a de-addiction treatment for a substance abuse. So we need to identify whether it's addiction or it is just because the child is not getting any other opportunities, they are utilizing this. If it is not addiction, if we can give them more activities to get engaged, when adult people also get involved with them to do other activities, to play games, if we can distract them from this gadget and make them do other activities, we can say to a certain extent, we can say that it is not addiction. In that situation, we need to identify activities where the children is interested and they can spend more time. So in this situation, we can definitely give them time for screen. If the screen is given for them to do the academic activities, we can provide them the screen only for academic activities. And if they want to watch some entertainment programs or something, we have to limit their time. Half an hour or 1 hour. That is the only time where we are going to provide you the screen for such activities. Other time you can go read books, you can play with me, you can have that family time, you can do other activities, you can do craft, you can go out, play, engage in physical activities. So these can be done. So if we have to restrict the screen time and get the children out of it, that is called the responsible usage of the gadget. How we can do this is, one thing, talk to the children, educate them regarding the bad effects of this, show them the positive side of the other things, then slowly reduce the time. Second is, we need to model ourselves. We say that don't use gadgets beyond the time to the children, and we continuously using the gadget, then the thing is not going to work. And we can actually fix certain areas in the house as gadget free areas, like the dining room, bedroom, or specific areas where it is completely gadget free. You're not supposed to take your gadgets to the dining room and have your food watching the videos. Like, you are not supposed to take your gadget to your bedroom and watch it throughout the night. So these things can be restricted. So here we also have to model. We also have to follow the same thing. So we can give them rules. We can establish certain rules at home. And it is not practically possible to keep children away from gadgets. When they get along with, or when they mingle with their peer group, all the children are going to talk to them about these videos or the games which they play or something. So if they have to get interacted with the children, they should be aware of these things. Otherwise, the children won't be able to get an interaction with their peer group also. They will be left out. So what we have to do is, we need to restrict the time where they are using these gadgets or these type of videos to a restricted time. That is the major thing which we can do.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay.
I heard the story. It would be interesting for you also. I heard the story of a +1 boy who is playing games till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and the parents tried different techniques to control him, and finally they took the gadget away, and he did not eat for 2-3 days. 2-3 days. Finally, the parents had to give back the gadgets, and they consulted with me what to do. And you suggest some kind of clinical deconditioning program.
Yes.
Thank you.
And if it is addiction, we have to go for de-addiction program. And another thing which I had listened to a story like this in another webinar that a parent has done. Actually, our Kerala police has got a program for restricting the gadget usage of children. So if you see that the children are using it excessively and you are not able to control it, you can report it to the Chiri Foundation of Kerala Police or to the nearest station. They will also take up the counseling programs and monitoring them, monitoring the gadgets, monitoring the IP address which the children are using. They will restrict the usage. They will take steps to restrict the usage. Chiri program of Kerala Police.
Hello, good evening, Dr. Vani. I would like to focus the attention of discussion to a different angle of thought. See, even before the emergence of the current pandemic situation, taking into account of the emerging practices and theories in education for the last 5 to 7 years, when we have a quick glance through the cross section of the various kinds of theories that is being emerging, see that the thought process behind the whole concept of learning is being shifted in a kind of manner in which something like that of the slogans like that, it is not hard work that pays, it is only smart work that pays. That means in our generation, or in our recently up to the second decade of 20th century, we have been preaching about the hard work. All on a sudden, the paradigm of thinking changes, that it is not the hard work that pays, it is the smart work that pays. Okay. Another thing is that from the whole concept of education or the learning process seems to be a kind of skill acquisition and competency building. And then the objective, the broad-based objectives, many of which have been gotten paralyzed in one way, so that there is a boom in giving training for certain kind of things, and then a kind of that means there is a kind of thought process being generated in the whole field of education that it is just something like that of very parochial practical mindset. And then the current situation also has contributed in aggregating that kind of thought, in which there is a kind of jumping from avoiding all the divine or the sublime ideals of education, just focusing on certain immediate kind of result, just grab certain kind of skills, or use the time in which maximum monetary or immediate benefit are being generated. So along with the current trend of the so-called forgetting of hard work and a kind of overruling of the smart work at every field, among all stakeholders. What is your response to this situation?
So smart work, of course, is good, but it is not going to give you a long-term impact. Especially when you consider it into gaining knowledge, if it is academics or any skills. If we have to master it, we need to do hard work. So nowadays, what we see is that children also tend to say that, okay, we need quick results. We just need to do something very smart. That's all is needed. Okay, but when the result, what do you mean by result? What exactly that is meant? If it is immediate result, yes, today I have a test paper, I'll learn what it is given in the notebook, I'll go write the exam, it's smart, I got full marks. But what I have learned or what I have gained from it, can I apply this in a future situation? That exactly counts, whether it's academics or a life skill. That is my viewpoint on this, sir.
One thing that I want to add along with that, many of the ongoing theories of education and learning have to have a relook and reframing immediately after the corona or the ongoing pandemic stage. Otherwise, that may not have any future existence.
We have a question. Higher achievers are getting worried about their future due to change in education system. What to do in this direction to help them? That is one of the major impact which COVID has given that in education system. The only way where we can do something is that when the children are higher achievers, we cannot say that they are completely intrinsically motivated. There were higher achievers who were extrinsically motivated, and because of that extrinsic motivation, they were higher achievers. So here the system has changed, okay, but how they can gain education or they can gain the information, that has to be taught to them. How they can use that also. It is not for the system that we are gaining the knowledge. That is what we need to give them the feedback. But another point is all are becoming equal, because we in our society, how we evaluate a child is based on their marks. So whether the marks is being given to the child because of their knowledge or it is because of the system. We don't know. That is the challenge the higher achievers are facing now. So when the system has changed, in the future, we also have to change the system of selecting and evaluating people, especially when we go for a job and all. Any other questions?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
Me is Rita Mohanty from Bhubaneswar. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. My question, as we all are together and discussing about our future, about our kids, can't we gather the kids and to do such type of workshop for them, a talk program for them? So there will be some motivation program for them, ma'am. Motivational program for them.
Motivational program for children.
Children, especially 8, 9, 10, because they are making very much disturbing to the families. They need so many things. They are asking when they are seized inside home. So this became really problem for the families, problem for the parents, problem everywhere, ma'am. So my suggestions, if we can do some counseling program for them, might be some of them will join and they will get benefit listening from you all. Such type people can protect them, can help them, ma'am.
That can be planned.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll request to Jojo sir to and request to the principal sir to conduct such type of program, though we can share to students all these things, ma'am. My suggestion. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Yes, we will plan to organize programs like giving some kind of help for the young children.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I am Nidhi from Trivandrum. So here I want to ask some doubts related to the discipline of the children. Earlier time, they have to wear uniform, they have to reach the stop for the school bus, and for that, right from the bed onwards, this discipline will start. But now it's the condition that just to join the class, so they don't want to do the daily activities. Nothing is important for them now. So how can we bring them back to that discipline level?
Okay. Actually, we have discussed all these points in the beginning, like beginning of the COVID, where we used to conduct programs for parents and teachers and children, because whatever change which has happened is going to disrupt our daily pattern. Okay, what which is happening here is, as why we were early from bed before COVID, because we need to reach school on time, and it is going to take some time to travel, some time to get ready, some time to reach the bus stop, as you said. So it is time consuming. So now if you have to be in the online class, you just have to wake up from the bed and switch on the computer. That's it. So it's a matter of 5 minutes or less than that. So it has to be, actually, we have to be responsible. We need to teach the children why it is there. Okay, why we need to be responsible. What is the benefit of being in a disciplined manner? Whether it's getting up early or getting dressed properly before the class, what are the things which you have to do before you get into the class? So these things have to be taught and to be communicated properly to the children. They will definitely ask you back, what if it is not done? the teacher is anyway not going to see me. Whether I'm dressed properly or I'm just on my bed, the teacher is not going to see me. So that has to be managed.
Yes, ma'am. But in most of the houses, the parents are not seeing all these. Whether they are joining the class at right time, whether they are doing their daily activities at proper time. And most of the grandparents are not aware of this new schedule
Technologies.
also.
Yes. Yes, actually, for small children, people have to monitor. People have to be with them to monitor. And when it comes to adolescent children and all, we need to teach them, or we need to have a good rapport with the child to get a proper communication between the child and the parent. It has to be managed, and we cannot expect that the children will do all these things by themselves.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
children should be made responsible also. Generally, what we see is, if the child has not attended the class, the teacher will give a call to mother or father and tell that your ward is not attending the class. You have to take care of it. But both of them will be working. Okay, so the children will think that, okay, that will be dealt by my mother or father. Max to max, mother is going to scold me. That's it. Again, this is going to happen tomorrow. So the child himself or herself has to be made answerable, especially when they are in higher classes. So they will have to take up the responsibility.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. People are unaware of the things which can, how the internet can be misused. That is, of course, there. The awareness has to be increased. That is the only way in which it can be dealt with. People will think that children are using it in a very positive sense, but it may not be. So parents should be given awareness on that area.
Yes, ma'am. That is the whole problem with us.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
Actually, I'm Mary Florence from Bangalore. Very good talk. Our current situation, actually, mostly more than children, parents are facing lot of problem. Actually, because there are so much homework also is given, and the evening also they have to do, and half the people are not attending. Especially the UKG, first standard, and all in ICC and CBSE, they are not getting serious about the studies. Very good topic. Very nicely you covered all the points. Lot to take away. More than I ask questions, lot to take away. And I hear the stories from my friends' childrens and all. So now I heard it in live. So it's a live experience for me. All the best, ma'am. All the best for your life also.
Thank you.
Soumya,
Yes, sir.
shall we move to the next session?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Vanidevi ma'am, for such a great interactive section. Many of the people get many things to take away because this is a current issue. Thank you so much. The best kind of giving is Thanksgiving. Now it's the time for expressing our gratitude. Let me invite Sindhu Ezara for the vote of thanks. Sindhu ma'am, please.
Excuse me. Thank you. I'm Dr. Bindubi, research coordinator.
Am I audible?
Thank you, ma'am, for your lively and interactive presentation. The topic is really the need of the hour, both as teachers and parents, and I am thankful to the resource person in dealing with this topic in a wonderful way. That is the what, why, and how of the topic is dealt with. Thank you very much for being with us, ma'am, and thank you all dear participants for your fruitful interaction. Okay, next I invite for vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Sindhu ma'am, please. Thank you.
Respected Principal Dr. K.Y. Bendick, sir. Research Coordinator of Theophilus Training College, Dr. Bindu ma'am. Jojo John, sir. The honorable guest of the day, Dr. Vanidevi. Teachers, research scholars, and students. First of all, let me thank Dr. Vanidevi for her inspiring, thought-provoking talk on the challenges faced by children in this present time. Thank you very much for showing us the importance of socialization among children, extrinsic motivation, and of course, that open discussion that we had with you. It was an eye-opener for us, ma'am. Thank you very much. Next, let me thank our principal, Dr. K.Y. Bendick, sir, for his continuous support for this program. A big thank you to Dr. Bindu ma'am for being the cornerstone of our research program, Insight Indepth. A word of gratitude to ANSI teacher for all the technical support that she so quietly and dutifully does. Finally, let me thank each and every one of you, teachers, research scholars, research guides, MAd and B.Ed students, and all who have joined this program from all over the globe. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Sindhu ma'am. Dear participants, please fill the feedback form. The link is shared in the chat box. E-certificate will be received in your email ID, which you have entered in the feedback form. Thank you so much for your valuable participation. Please join us on next week for another great webinar in our Insight In-Depth Invited Talk series. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you so much, everyone. Now, we have come to the end of the webinar. If possible, please stand up for the national anthem.
Benedict sir, Bindu teacher, and the resource person, shall we take 2-3 screenshots, because more than 100 participants are there. If you can open the video, if some of you can open the video, we can have a very good document about this also, please. I shall take the screenshot. Those who can open the video, please. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Can we move forward?
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Congratulations, members of the research team, for your marvelous organization. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.